It's deal over. The program has generated nearly 500,000 vehicle sales. A lot of dealers complain, though, that they had to wait way too long to get money back from Uncle Sam. And earlier on CNN, Tony Harris discussed the program's successes and failures. His guest, Jeffrey Pohanka, who operates dealerships in the Washington metro area, an automotive expert, Learn Fix in Buffalo.
The program has been very successful to the consumer. They've responded. I think in the last 4 weeks, our industry would have sold about 750,000 cars under the Cash for Clunker program. So I would say wildly successful from a consumer standpoint, somewhat of a frustration from an administrative standpoint.
Tell me why. What's been the nightmare, the headache for you?
Well, which should be a pretty simple process, trading an old car and a new car. The law was 18 pages. The regulations were 160 pages. We had great difficulty even submitting claims in the first week of the program. It would take 2 hours or more to submit one claim. The computer would crash, and that has been fixed. But we'll sell up to 800 cars through this program by come Monday. But of the 550 we've already submitted, very few have been reviewed yet, and only 10 have been paid.
Only 10?
Only 10. We'll have about $3 million. Our company alone will have about $3 million into this program come Monday.
Lauren, you've been pretty clear on this. You have not been a fan of this program, so give me the list of I told you so's. Come on.
Well, first off, it is great that people like Jeff and the rest of the dealers around the country are getting rid of their 2008 and 2009 models, because traditionally, and he'll tell you, Labor Day is a huge weekend from that point on with all the new models coming in. So this is good for them to clear their lots for the new cars. Now, the I told you so's is I knew that there would be a bigger impact than what you saw on the surface. Yes, it's great for the consumer, but look at the local repair shops. I've talked to many of the different chains that thought sales would be up because people are not keeping their cars and trading in for new cars, which is good. It has caused the repair business to actually lay people off. So that hasn't helped either. And I'm sure that it's going to impact all the dealerships as far as their service department. You want people to bring their cars back and get them serviced. It's really important because there's a lot of profit to be made for the dealership network there. Also, on the other hand, I knew that the government would have some issues in paying back consumers because Citibank is the one that's handling all the paperwork and the financial end of that.
Okay.
I know that there's a lot of government stuff, but this is a much bigger picture. And again, I know the impact was, again, a knee-jerk reaction. We should have done this before the bankruptcy, so no dealer was affected in a negative way.
All right, well, Jeff, let me ask you something. Do you believe ultimately that you will get your money for these deals?
I'm confident that we will be paid. But we're worried that this might be musical chairs, that more cars have been sold than maybe there's funding for the program. We don't really know. Now, Monday, 8 o'clock is the last time we can submit a claim.
We're taking you live right now, busting out of that story and taking you to the courtroom of Alvaro Castillo. This is a man who has fatally shot his father on August 30th of 2006 and then went to his high school and opened fire. Now hearing that a verdict is coming down in this case, so let's listen in.
And have you signed and dated each verdict sheet?
Yes.
Have you placed all verdict sheets into that packet?
Yes.
All right, sir. If you would please pass that to the bailiff. He'll come over to you, and then you can have a seat, sir. Thank you. Madam Clerk, I will ask you to please take the verdict at this time.
State of North Carolina versus Alvaro Castillo, file number 06 CRS 54833. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant Alvaro Castillo to be guilty of first-degree murder on the basis of malice, premeditation, and deliberation, yes, and possession of weapon of mass destruction. Okay. Under which degree? Under the first-degree felony murder rule, yes. Possession of a weapon of mass destruction, 4 pipe bombs. Possession of mass destruction, 3 pipe bombs. Possession of weapon of mass destruction, a shotgun. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Thomas Boyer, foreperson.
I'll take the rest of this verdict. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill Tiffany Utzman. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Thomas W. Boyer. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill Andrew Hunt. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Thomas W. Boyer. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of possession of weapons on educational property, rifle. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of possession of weapons on educational property, shotgun. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of discharging a firearm on educational property. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of discharging a weapon into occupied property. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of possessing a weapon of mass destruction, 4 pipe bombs. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of possessing a weapon of mass destruction, 3 pipe bombs. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Alvaro Castillo, to be guilty of possessing a weapon of mass destruction, shotgun. This the 21st day of August, 2009. Signed by the foreperson. Is this your verdict? Are these your verdicts? So say you all.
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you would please indicate your continued assent or agreement thereto by raising your right hand at this time. Let the record reflect that all members of the jury are raising their right hands. You can put them down. Are there any requests for the jury at this time?
No.
Okay. All right, and is there anything that the state believes we need to have the assistance of the jury on at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Members of the jury, I do want to thank you all very much for your patience, your time, and your attention throughout this process. In just a moment, I will discharge you as jurors. Before I do that, I want to tell you a couple things. First of all, at this point, you are allowed to talk about the case to anyone that you choose to talk about the case, the attorneys. Everyone I said you can't talk to before, now you can speak with them, your families and your friends, members of the media, if you so choose. You're also perfectly within your rights to decline to speak with anyone about this case. I would caution you, however, that if you do choose to speak with anyone about this case, and again, you can speak about the trial itself, you're also permitted to speak about your deliberations. This is not like a grand jury proceeding where the deliberations are secret. You are permitted to speak about even your deliberations. But I would, again, caution you, if you choose to do so, say only those things you'd be willing to say in the presence of your fellow jurors or here under oath in the courtroom. In other words, be as honest and as accurate about your thoughts and your perceptions and your statements about the perceptions or thoughts of others. Again, I want to thank you all very much for your time and your attention on behalf of this Orange County and the court system in general. We cannot do what we do without your help. So I want to thank you all very much. We do have, the clerk has letters for you all if you need them for any reason, describing where you've been over the last several weeks. And I do believe that we will handle the sentencing proceeding in just a moment. You're welcome to stay for that proceeding. You're also welcome to leave. I do want to take a short recess before we do that. And I'm actually going to ask to speak with all of you in the jury room for just a moment, if I may. So we're going to take a 10-minute recess at this time, and we'll come back at the end of that.
We'll stand for recess for 10 minutes.
Relatively quiet courtroom as all counts guilty in the Alvaro Castillo trial were read. Castillo faced charges of first-degree murder, 3 counts of possession of weapons of mass destruction, along with assault with a deadly weapon and intent to kill, inflicting serious injury, assault with a deadly weapon, intent to kill, discharging a weapon on school property, and 2 other counts. They are going to take a brief recess. As soon as they come back, we'll bring it to you live. That will be the sentencing phase in the Alvaro Castillo trial. He does face life in prison, the 21-year-old Alvaro Castillo. Let's get a check of the weekend weather and head on over to meteorologist Bonnie Schneider, who joins us also with an update on Bill. Is Bill still a concern, Bonnie?
I think so, because, you know, Nicole, as the storm gets closer to the U.S., it's not going to make a direct hit, but it is going to bring about dangerous rip currents, and that's problematic. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bill now, and you can see it churning out in the Atlantic Ocean, already bringing very heavy rain to Bermuda at this hour. Not making a direct strike on Bermuda, but some of those rain bands are pushing up to the north and hitting Bermuda hard, unfortunately. Right now, winds are at 110 miles per hour. Gusts are up to 140. This is a very intense, large hurricane. It is also a Category 2, downgraded from a Category 3. So where will Bill go? Well, the storm is on the move, working its way away from the U.S., away from Canada. But Canada, right here in the Nova Scotia area, is still in that cone of uncertainty. So that's the thing to keep in mind if you have travel plans in that area. You may get some strong wind and even rain for this region. But the storm will weaken. It'll only be at 85 miles per hour maximum winds at that time. So that's important to note. We're also taking a look at the wave heights due to the swells of the ocean. I'm going to explain that a little more in just a minute. But first, just this is the forecast. Saturday, dangerous surf, 15 to 20 feet, mainly in the Carolina Outer Banks area. Then Sunday, you hit the Long Island areas of the East End and into Cape Cod, Mass, the south coast of Massachusetts, Rhode Island. That's when the waves will pick up Sunday. So it depends where you are, where you'll see the highest waves, but 20-foot waves, that's pretty big. All right, let's say what's going on across the country. Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League Championship, starting today. It's going to be a lot of fun for all those families. And now the weather's clearing out. We had some thunderstorms there earlier, so good news. But the rain's hitting Allentown and areas in Philly right now pretty hard, all the suburbs of Philadelphia. This strong squall line is really serious because we have a severe thunderstorm watch. Heavy rain sweeping across places like Belmar, New Jersey, into Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and certainly across areas of Dover, Delaware. That's where we're seeing some heavy downpours right now. So the temperatures are very warm in advance of this front. It's 85 degrees degrees in New York City, but you know, the coldest air hasn't made it here yet. I wanted to show you this. Marquette, Michigan right now, 55 degrees. So there is some cooler and drier air, and incidentally, it's this weather system coming through that's actually going to help push Bill away. So it's making for some tough thunderstorms across the Northeast right now, but it will do some positive things too. Well, maybe not just quite yet. The travel delays are lengthy ground stops, meaning you're not going anywhere. If you're parked at LaGuardia, JFK, Teterboro, Boston. Minneapolis has light delays, 25 minutes. Philadelphia, a ground stop until 5:30 tonight. So if you have a flight departing from Philly, you're just not going to head out, unfortunately, because of the bad weather there, and it looks like it's going to stick around. White Plains also facing some delays. I want to show you something kind of cool that our senior weather producer, Dave Henning, made. This is an explainer about riptides and how they work and why they're so dangerous. I'll put this into motion. You can see the large crashing waves coming on shore. There's the beachgoer and the break in the sandbar right there. What's happening is you don't have that protective area, so the water rushes out, and if you were the person right here on the beach, you would be rushed out right along with it. So in order to stay safe, obviously you don't want to go in the water, but if you were, you can see that you would want to swim parallel to the shore, not trying to fight it, because that current will push you right out. So there's the sandbar. It's like a protective barrier, and when you have those strong waves, that gets wiped away. There's nothing to protect you from being pushed out with the water out to sea. So that's why rip currents are so dangerous, Nicole.
And we have been also asking our viewers whether or not they have ever been caught in a rip current while swimming in the ocean, and I know we got a couple of responses in on this one.
Absolutely, Nicole. People have been responding from around the world. This doesn't matter where you live. If you've been in an ocean anywhere, you may have experienced rip currents. This one comes to us from Alex Alves de Paula, and Alex says, I remember the moment I was on the south coast of Brazil. I was swimming beside my daddy. Suddenly we both were caught by a current. The ocean water was troubled and cold. I was able to come until the shore, but my father was not. He was relieved by 2 lifeguards. Nowadays, I am grateful for that. Well, thanks for telling that story. See, it's a childhood memory. You never forget that. That's just incredible. Thank you, Alex, for that. Keo writes, rip currents, the difference, originally from Hawaii, where I was a long-time surfer since childhood, we experienced these types of rip currents, riptides, undertow, all at once, which is not an easy to escape. Your best bet is to remain within the current while it forces you out to sea, then swim lateral to shore until you find the right current. That's kind of what we were explaining, or wave that would bring you into